back to another vlog. I'm in my parking. You were wondering where I'm going. We're actually heading to Munnar today, to Kerala. And I just realized my gimbal was in the car. So we're just taking a cab to the airport. So I had to come to the parking and get my gimbal. So who else had to go? So I came downstairs before my husband because I wanted to pick up the gimbal from the car, and then we were waiting for him to come down. The cab was here. We booked a cab to the airport and headed towards the airport. Actually, our flight was at 7:10 a.m. We generally like taking morning flights because we assume it's going to be empty, but then turns out everyone thinks like us. Just picked up some coffee and we were waiting for the boarding to start so that we can get there. Don't you just hate it when they do not have ramps connecting to your flight and you have to get there by bus? I just absolutely hate it. But it is what it is. I don't know what's the deal with it. Like some flights have ramps, some don't. So this was quite weird for me. And then we finally reached Kochi. So we took a flight till Kochi, and I love the Kochi airport. It's so quaint and so pretty. So we booked a cab from Kochi to Munnar. It's actually the shortest. You can also go from Coimbatore to Munnar or even Madurai to Munnar, but Kochi to Munnar is the shortest. So I booked a cab using Make My Trip, and then we just got the cab as soon as we landed in the airport, and we started off to Munnar. We didn't have any plans of staying in Kochi as such because Kochi was so hot and humid, and Munnar is supposedly a hill station, right? So it was going to be colder. So we just headed off, but I loved Kerala roads. I was really, I mean, I have been in Kerala before, but I've only gone to Calicut, and the roads were pretty decent back then as well. And even this time, I was really happy with the roads in Kerala. There are no like speed breakers, and they have no concept of speed breakers at all, which I really loved, which is not the case in Telangana. But yeah, I love the drive. Apparently this is their first bridge in Kerala, so we were just driving through the rainforests of Kerala, and it was quite beautiful. I mean, I was like really in awe of the beauty of this place. So on our way to Munnar, we stopped at this Munnar Rock World where there's a natural rock formation, and they have a variety of spices planted here. Actually, some of the spices I have seen them, like I've seen the plants. My mom grows them in her garden, like small variants of them. But there were some unknown to me as well, which was quite amusing. Going under the rock was quite scary for me, but I did it, and there were like a lot of spices, and there was one person who was trying to explain to us what the benefits of each of them are. This is my first time doing this. Good. I never even knew such things exist until that case happened in, where is that? I'm scared. Yeah, it's like. Then we stopped at this town called Adimali, which is like the town before Munnar. We wanted to stop here because there was like a viewpoint over here and we wanted to check it out. Like, this is on the top of the hills, and it was such a gorgeous view. It was a little bit sunny compared to Kodai. Of course, it was a different season altogether when we went there last, but it was so beautiful, and the weather was quite pleasant and cold as well. And then we finally reached our hotel. My phone actually died in between, so I could not like film the rest of it, but it was quite a long drive. It was almost 20 kilometers away from the Munnar town, and this is called Elixir Hills. And we got here. This is like in the rainforest, inside the forest, and it was beautiful. Like, the outside of it was beautiful. Then we headed to the room, and actually we hated the first room that they gave us, and we wanted to leave from there immediately because we were very unhappy. It was not nicely done, it was not clean, and all of that. And then we complained to the management. We were very unhappy with it, but we had already paid for it, so they offered us a different room, and then we were okay to stay with it. So let me give you a room tour. So this is the view from the hall, or the main living space, and this is like inside the rainforest, so you have that swimming pool view. And this is the room. There's like a small little bed in the center of the room, and then there's like these couches which are very, very bad quality. And then there's this balcony, and you can see the trees right there, like these big old trees. I think that was overwhelming. Just the view and the location was overwhelming, but in general, like, the place was not very refined. And yeah, and then I'll give you a tour around the place. Hi guys, so we checked in here, but our initial experience wasn't great because they gave us one room. We were not happy with it somehow because it was a little like, it smelled of an old room for some reason. So we were actually very, very upset. So we wanted to like leave, but then they upgraded us and the new room is better. So I've just come down to check out the place, and it's quite pretty, but there's only so much you can do because of, in terms of maintenance and all that, because it is actually a rainforest. So yeah, so the maintenance is not that great, but it is indeed a beautiful place. There's like not much you can expect from it. The next morning we headed out. The previous day I told you I couldn't record because my phone had died. So we had crossed all of these tea plantations and then reached our venue. So the next day we drove back and we went to Top Station. So literally we can't go out in the evenings because we are living in the middle of the forest. It is not advisable to go because they have like these natural animal crossings. And the day we had reached there were actually elephants that had crossed that path. And the next day we could see their dump and all of that. So we could only go out in the day and then just get back before 6 p.m. max. And then, so the next day we went out to Top Station. So Top Station is actually on the border of Kerala and Tamilnadu, and literally if you want to see Top Station, you have to walk across the border. So we drove all the way, and it was so picturesque, so beautiful. Like, there were tea plantations all over. Now I have heard of tea plantations so much here, but then when I came here, I actually kind of understood the kind of exploitation that happened with the tea plantation workers back then in in the British rule. And it's so beautiful and all of that we can experience this beauty now, but back in the day it was not a thing of beauty. It was a thing of slavery, you could say, and exploitation, and that kind of made me sad. But nonetheless, the views were overwhelming for me. So after that, we headed to the Kundala Lake Dam. It is also called as a Setu Parvatipuram Dam. This was supposedly built in 1946, and it is supposedly one of the first arc dams in Asia. And it is so beautiful. It is one of the tributaries of the Periyar River, and it is constructed as part of the Pallivasal hydroelectric project. We just sat there literally. We just walked to the end of the lake and then just sat there chilling and not doing anything. It was so cold and so chill, and just the breeze was so beautiful. You could just sleep there all night. It was that beautiful, and yeah, it was so picturesque, like a Swiss postcard. And if you go to Munnar, you definitely have to check this place out. And then we headed for lunch to this place called Tea County, which is operated by KTDC, that is the Kerala Tourism Department. And it was such a quaint little hotel, so beautiful, so well maintained. And we were almost like, oh my god, we want to move here, because this was right in the town. And if we wanted to go out, we could go out in the evening. And it was such a beautiful place. We requested them to give us a room. They said they do have rooms, but the other hotel was not willing to like relieve us, and we had already paid them, so we did not want to move. I mean, it was a bad booking on my end, bad decision making, but this place was so beautiful. If you ever come to Munnar and want to stay here, you should definitely stay here, because it's got the views of the quaint little town. It's an old place operated by the government, and you get everything. And yeah, so that was a beautiful place. And then we drove back to our hotel, and this was the view again from the hotel, and it's quite beautiful. I can't really complain, but somehow the first impression was very bad for us. It was a very bad experience. As soon as we walked in, we kind of were not happy with the place itself. Maybe because it's in the forest, there's only so much you can do, but we kind of warmed up to the place, and we really enjoyed our stay later on. Yep. So the next morning, we decided to give this place a try, because it was in the rainforest. They had like a trail in the backyard, so we could just go and walk through it. So we decided to do that the next morning. We were like, okay, let's at least give this place a chance. So we started walking, and actually, it turned out to be so beautiful. Can someone not do that? I want to go on that slide. Iveka, you said. What? My God, we're like literally in the yeah. Yeah. There's a stream over there? What? Oh my God, guys, this place is beautiful. What?
Going all over. మంచి ప్లాన్ చేస్తాను దాని వరకు ఆగిపోయినట్టుంది
We can just sit here?
Yeah.
this was from a distance. Like, that was honestly one of the most beautiful experiences I've had. Then we hiked down and went ahead or down the trail and just into the forest, just walking out into nowhere. And then we got back and then we went out for lunch and had this awesome biryani from Rocha's non-veg restaurant. It was so good. The biryani was so good. We literally finished all of it among the two of us. But it was yummy. We also ordered some pomfret fish fry. That was also great. And then we headed to the tea museum. As I was mentioning earlier, this is where I read a lot of the history of what happened in Munnar and all of that. But it was quite a trip down nostalgia. I remember we used to have one of these typewriters at home. My mom used to work in BSNL, so she used to work in one of those telephone, operating systems, and then these old radios. It was quite a nostalgic trip. Then we also saw where the tea is, processed and all of that. And then we were getting back to our hotel, and this strip on the way to our hotel is so beautiful. It gave me this Swiss vibe, so we just stopped here and took a stroll, and then we got back to our hotel. From here, packed up everything, just ready to go. It was the next morning. It was time for us to leave Munnar and head back to Kochi, as going to Kochi would take us at least like 4 hours. And we decided to wake up early and leave. And that's it. That was our short stay in Munnar. We absolutely loved it. We really warmed up to the place, although we did not like it in the beginning, but there are definitely better places to stay at. So do your research before you come here. But that's all for this vlog. If you guys enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys in another video pretty soon. Bye bye.